Good morning, mate. Clint Anderson here from Downunder Horsemanship, and I'd like to welcome you back to our Titan series. Well, it's been about 3 months now since we last filmed Titan. He's coming along really well. It's November of his 3-year-old year. I'm not going to show him at the futurities this year. He's just not quite ready. You know, he's had 16 months of training, and my plan at this point is to show him next May in Vegas if they have a 4-year-old futurity for horses like Titan that have either missed training or were late developers. I plan to have that be his first debut in May. So today, I want to work on guiding, straight lines and guiding, and I also want to be able to work on some sliding stops as well and work on how I'm stopping him, okay? You'll notice that I'm riding him a little bit different equipment than what I have previously. 4 or 5 days a week now I ride him in some sort of a curb bridle, okay? It's got a chain under the jaw with a curb strap on it. Sometimes he has loose shank bit, meaning you can pull each left and right of the shank and it'll move independently. This particular bit here is a clapper bit. It's a $2.99, so it's a solid mouthpiece. And so when I pick up one side of it, the other side of the bit moves at the same time. I like a really, really loose curb strap though on all my bridles, like really loose, so that when you pick up on the reins, there is lots of signal before that curb strap comes underneath the horse's jaw to apply pressure, okay? By giving it a lot of signal like that, you don't scare the horse, and it gives the horse a chance to react off the slack of the rein rather than it touching him immediately. The reins that I'm riding in today are what you call Rommel reins. It's more of a West Coast type of setup and a Western deal. It really helps you get the horse kind of neck reining a little bit better and making sure that they really will come off that neck rein. I don't ride him in it all the time. I might ride in this for 4 or 5 days and then go back to split reins again, then go back a week later and ride him in this for 4 or 5 days, etc. So over the course of the last 16 months, we've used different bits on Titan. You know, for the first year, we basically rode him in a snaffle bit, okay? After his first year, we had him in what we call a shank snaffle, which is a snaffle bit mouthpiece, but it had a little short shank on it with a little loose curb strap on it. Then we went to a low port correctional bit. And now I've got him in a solid mouthpiece. What I mean by solid, if you pull one side of the bit, the other side moves as well. And it's got a little port in it as well. It's a little clapper $2.99. I like the solidness of it because it'll help straighten him up a little bit, okay? My horses are so soft and supple laterally that as they get further along, I put them in a straighter shank bit, which means it doesn't have as much lateral movement in it, okay? Now, do I still go back to a snaffle and ride him in a snaffle at least 1 or 2 days a week? Absolutely. If I keep my horses in bits too long, I find they get a little heavier, a little stiffer, a little pushier. But if I go back and get them soft and supple and move all their body parts in a snaffle, when I put them back in a shank bit, they feel even better. You can still pick up and ride independently with each rein. Like, for example, I can still flex him, even though he's in a curb bit, I can still flex him like I did in a snaffle. I just don't recommend people teach their horse how to get soft and supple in the shank bit, okay? So at different times, if I think he's lost or green or not doing what I want, I will certainly go back to riding with 2 hands and correct him. But for the most part, I'm gonna keep one hand around this, kind of grab around the top of this Rommel, and it's kind of like a bit of a joystick, so to speak, you know what I mean? If I want to go right, I put it across his neck like that. I can always reach down and correct him and make him look in a little bit more if he needs to be, okay? So that's kind of what I'm using the equipment. I just find that it just gets him a little bit broker, both left and right. If I need to, like right there, he didn't quite look in enough, so I can get my hand on the inside of that Rommel and draw his nose just a little bit more, okay? So I'm just gonna warm him up here for just a little bit and work on my backup. Yeah, I've spoken about this before. The warm-up is an important part of training a horse. You just don't get straight on them and start going to the heavy training. So today I just did a little bit of backing with Titan. Backing's the foundation of collection. Backing's the foundation of your sliding stop. If you have a good backup, you've got a much better chance of having a good stop. But I've never seen, when I say never, rarely have I seen a horse have a great stop that had a piss poor backup. You know, occasionally you'll come across a real naturally talented horse that can really stop well naturally, that doesn't back up well because of his training, but that's pretty rare. Backing is an important part of my method. The better they back up, the better they stop, the better they collect. Backing is the foundation of a sliding stop. And then I usually like to finish off just in a straight line. It's his responsibility. Well, now he can't hear me, he's deaf. I just put my hand forward and say whoa anyway. With the ones that can hear, I just say the word whoa, okay? So, you know, other than just little cues like that I'll do differently with him because he can't hear. You know, a lot of people have asked questions on Facebook and YouTube and so forth, you know, because Titan's deaf, is he hard to train or anything like that, or what allowances have I made? I really don't change hardly anything. You know, I just train him like a regular horse. I still cluck to him when I want him to do a lead departure. I still say whoa to him when I stop. I don't really do anything different other than just slight little physical cues like that one. Like when I go to stop backing him up, whoa. See how he couldn't hear that? Whoa. But when I put my hand forward, he knows that's his cue to stop. So just, there might be little things like that I might do differently, but overall, I just train him like a regular horse. People kind of act like it's a big deal that he's deaf, like, oh my God, the whole world's gonna come to an end. People do the same thing with blind horses, like a horse will be blind in one eye, and people say, well, what are you gonna do to train him differently? As a good rule of thumb, I really don't change much at all, okay? I just treat them the same. And they just adapt very, very easily, okay? In some ways, him being deaf is a little bit of an advantage because, you know, there's just less things for him to spook at, he hears less. I definitely think it'll be an advantage showing him when the crowd's cheering and making a lot of noise. That can sometimes bother a lot of horses. Well, it ain't gonna bother him, he's deaf as a post. Whoa. So all horses will have a little bit of their own style. Like he kind of puts his neck down pretty low, and that's kind of his style there. Okay, others will raise it up a little bit more. I like it down there, but it's just kind of where he's comfortable putting it. So I pick up, if I use my legs, he speeds up. My feet move his feet. There, my feet move his feet, remember that. The harder you pull a horse in a backup, the harder you pull on the reins. I'm driving him up into his face, take my legs off, put my hand down. Cool. The harder you pull on a horse in reverse, the slower their feet get. Your feet move their feet. So if I've got a horse that's sticky and doesn't want to back up with energy or doesn't want to put any effort in, I use my feet, my legs, my spurs to create energy in his feet. But the harder you pull, the stiffer they get, the heavier they get, and the more resistance they get. So I've warmed him up a little bit there. So this first exercise I'm going to work on is a great guiding exercise to get a horse running straight and also doing circles. So what I'm going to do is go around the outside of the arena, and every time I get to the end of the arena, I'm going to do a couple of circles to the outside and then go across to the other side and do a couple of circles and then go down the long side. And what it does, by doing a couple of circles at the end of the arena every time I get there, it makes the horse not in a massive hurry to get down there. Especially when you start galloping these reining horses and speeding them up on a straight line, some of them can get a little excited and want to get to the end quickly or get ahead of you, so to speak. Well, if you make them do a few push-ups down the end of the arena, pretty soon those horses start waiting for you and like, man, I'm not in a hurry to run down the end because I just got 3 more damn circles down there and 2 more over there, okay? He's pretty lazy, so I don't really have to worry about that with him, but it's still a great little guiding exercise to make the horse wait, okay?